Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Okay, guys, so I'm here with yet another live stream. I was hoping to make a video on the forecast coming for the next few days. I wasn't able to because I was on vacation, or road trip, whatever you want to call it. It was like 1 day vacation. And I wasn't able to film from the hotel, obviously. Also, even when I did get home, it was like late, and there was also another severe weather threat going on, so I was unsure if I should go live for that, but I decided not to because it wasn't really that materialized yet. I could have gone live for the tornadoes in Canada, but it was too late for those too, so I just didn't do anything. But I was planning on making a video this morning, but I kind of woke up kind of late, but, you know, this is fine enough. I think this works for now. There's already stuff going on, so that's what I was, like, kind of thinking of. There's already stuff going on. I could just go over the forecast in the live stream, so. Otherwise, I did also start this live stream a bit earlier because I do have to go away for, like, an hour between 5 and 6. Then I'm coming back, even though it might actually be longer than that. I'm unsure at the moment, because I'm unsure if I'm going to go outside for something. Well, it's very difficult to go outside right now, especially with how hot it is here, but, like, you know, you'll get the point. I mean, it is pretty hot out here. I will go over the heat after the end of the, like, towards the end of the live stream when things have calmed down a bit, but I decided I should go live now since things are already starting up, and I feel like this is a good time to go live. So, anyways, guys, let's get right into it. We have our severe weather set up. Let me just get this back and get our mesoskill discussions up again. And severe weather, yeah. Okay. So, we currently have one tornado warning active, and this is right near Hibbing, just northeast of Grand Rapids. It's not anything insane. It did have more rotation earlier. It does, like, this whole system had more rotation earlier. You can see this, like, MCS type thing that's kind of doing a bow echo thing. Even though it looks like it's trying to do something, I don't think it is. This right here is not really showcasing any rotation. It is interesting because there is a storm out in front of this thing near Toivola. This, I don't think has much rotation to it, though. When you look at it, it doesn't really have much rotation. There's also another area that looks interesting near Hoyt Lakes, but I don't think that's anything either. So, this is not really the main tornado threat, because we're not really in the best environment here. I think it's slightly capped at this moment, just slightly. The main area is over here in North Dakota, and that is where storms are first expected this fire, where we already have a storm forming south of New Salem, which is a little bit earlier than expected. We were expecting storms to fire in about an hour, but look at this now. We've already got a storm forming, and I believe this is part of the system that we've been looking for, the little shortwave that's causing all of this. We do also have storms near Washburn and Underwood, but these are not really doing much. They don't really have high reflectivity values, so they're not likely to become severe, most likely. But over here near Carson and New Salem, there is a storm, and I am watching my eye on that. If it latches to the outflow boundary over there, if it does latch to the outflow boundary, there'll be more of a tornado risk with it. This mesoskill discussion is for tornado risk, as well as a wind and hail risk. So it's capable of all hazards, these storms. So I wouldn't be surprised if this tries to produce a tornado, but only when it latches onto this outflow boundary. And let me see the direction this is heading, this outflow boundary. It's very stationary almost, but it's like heading a little bit to the west, and this storm is kind of heading to the north almost. So I don't know if it's going to catch up in time, but we'll see what happens with the storm. We also do have some storms near Cooperstown, Findlay, and Grand Forks. These are not really severe. They might pose some fair winds, definitely some larger winds than with a typical storm. However, I don't think they're severe yet. They probably have like 40-mile-per-hour winds. They don't even have a special weather statement on them right now. So we'll see what happens with that. Bro, did you see the 131-mile-per-hour wind report this morning? I did. I can pull up the reports here. I don't know if it's on this app, but I did hear about it. Yes. Let me look. Because recorded wind, yeah. Alright, well, it would be near Aberdeen, I guess. Where? And this is 100. I guess they can't... Okay, they can't go... It's so high that it can't go above 100 on the reports, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, there was a 112 mile per hour wind gust at the ambient weather station near Lake Sharp, right near DeGray. And then, of course, there was that 131 mile per hour wind report near Highmore. And that is pretty insane if you think about it. It didn't look that strong. If you go back to the radar imaging, let me go back to the history on this storm. If you go back to the point where it was... wait, why isn't this loading? Why is everything, like... Okay, that's so weird. I don't know what it's doing right now. I can't see a thing. Why is it in this font? Okay, you know what? Whatever. It's fine. Where are we? Okay. So let me... Oh, wrong. Yeah, this is so hard. I don't know why it's the same font. Alright, you know what? Whatever. It's... Yeah, I'll pull it up if I need to, but yeah, it didn't seem that strong when I was looking at it. I mean, I wasn't fully awake this morning, I believe. I think I was looking at it a little bit, but not like at this point where it was producing the 131 mile per hour wind gust. I'm unsure. That could possibly even be a tornado, but it didn't seem like it. I mean, here, wait. 3 reports with winds exceeding. It is kind of weird, because this is almost like a tornado track. It's in such a small area that almost looks like a tornado track. I gotta look at the reflectivity. I'm unsure if it is a tornado. It's just, this is acting weird. I don't know why. Here, let me go back. When was it? When was it? It was at like 7 a.m., so that's like 12Z. Yeah. 11, okay. Let me know that that's a little... Okay. Okay. And then this. Okay, that just ruined everything. Here, I got this. Oh, okay. It's doing it in my time zone. I don't know why it's doing that. Alright. And then this. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to figure this out. This is just... I don't know why everything's in a black font. It was a long-lived downdraft. It's possible, yeah. Definitely possible. Here, wait. Alright, this works. Okay. Alright, it's loading, so just give it a second. This is velocity. Did it? Yeah. Okay, so here it is. Here you can see... It could have been a downdraft. It almost looks like it was. Let me see if there's any... Honestly, that could have been a downdraft. It doesn't look like a tornado to me. It looks way too widespread to be a tornado. It's weird how these wind reports are in such a small area, but this doesn't really, like, right here is where it kind of looked like rotation, but I'm pretty sure that's actual winds. And there is an 80 mile per hour wind, 84 mile per hour wind report near Redfield too. This is when the storm was still strong on radar. Honestly, that could have been completely damaging. Like, that could have been really damaging if that was a storm. I mean, thankfully, it didn't really hit any very populated areas. It's so weird, though, because I haven't really seen it with so many storms that are this compact before. But this is kind of considered an MCS. It's a weird MCS with, like, a very small core to it. But I do believe that was a downdraft that caused all of that. So, very interesting scenario that happened there. Thankfully, it didn't impact too populated areas, even though Highmore, I bet, is a populated area, so some of the western parts might have gotten hit by it. But yeah, that definitely is a candidate. I don't know if it's a candidate, like, I don't know if there's a requirement for, like, width with a derecho, like, if it has to be, like, 70 miles in north to south, but I know it would meet the derecho requirements if it was like this. Yeah, it could be a small derecho. It was very small. I don't know if it's, like, if there's, like, a requirement in terms of north to south. I believe there isn't, so that could have been a derecho, but we'll see. Okay, so let me get out of this radar history mode. Alright. Radio waves? What are radio waves? Alright, there's a special weather statement there, so that's interesting. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. I've never seen a special weather statement with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour before. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I've only seen 40 miles per hour and more. Okay, so let's go back to the radar now. There might be some strong winds with this, but I think that's part of the inflow, what we're seeing there. That doesn't look like any sort of real rotation or anything like that. It's way too small right now. But going back to this storm, this does not really look tornadic to me. The warned part, anyways, if this part did something, then that would make more sense, but it doesn't even look like that would produce something. Yeah, I think they're going to let this tornado warning expire, because it doesn't look too tornadic to me. I gotta look at the environment. Let me look at the environment for that storm. Where would it be? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so let me just look at the environment for that storm real quickly. Here, let me switch the scene. Here. It's up here. Oh, wrong. This is so annoying all the time. Okay, so there is shear. There is lots of shear in this area, but I feel like there was another limiting factor. I feel like this area was capped. Let me just see this. Cape surface. It isn't capped, actually. I thought it was. Well, the part that's kind of bending back, the bookend vortex, that's sort of in near a cap area, but it's not. And also, there's not a lot of cape in this area, I've noticed. This is like a weird area where like there's a lack of cape. I think that's mainly due to the MCS causing that. So I think I'm not perfect with these things yet, but lapse rates are good. Let me see photograph over here. Yeah, I gotta click it twice. Well, this is good, but there is a bit of a dry slot. I can see that. So this seems mostly like a wind threat right now. It's not really in that good of an environment. It seems like there's a big dry slot, so in the lower levels. So I do think that could mean that there is some lack of development with the storm that could pursue. But we're watching. There is these supercellular type structures out in front. There's this one storm merging into the storm, so that could produce a tornado simply because this provides more energy to the storm as it gets sucked up into the main line. Because it's already kind of rotating a little bit. I mean, not that much, but you can see a little bit of rotation there. So that might do something. But yeah, this is the risk for today. You can see a 5% Sig 1 for tornadoes in North Dakota and Minnesota. I set the strong tornado threat as only in North Dakota. I'll change it later because it's right now it would only be in North Dakota. I mean, I guess this derecho thing kind of would have the capability to produce a stronger tornado, but it's kind of weakening at the moment, so I'm not really confident in it. We also do have a tornado watch in Canada. I'm unsure when these storms are supposed to develop. It's weird. We have like this weird gravity wave type thing. I think that's just due to the radars in Canada, but there is, oh, and there was just a severe thunderstorm watch issued for Thunder Bay. I was expecting that because this MCS is likely going to enter into the Thunder Bay region. So we do have a tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm watch in Canada. It seems like the risk in Canada has kind of weakened a little bit. It's headed a little more south over time into the United States. So that's something to note. You can see our main storm right now over here doesn't have much rotation on it. I'm just looking at it because it might produce some sort of hail threat. It's weird. It's like moving northwest, but I think that's due to the outflow boundary kind of like causing the winds to go in all different directions here. A lot of wind shear. So, and also it looks like all of these are moving northwest. That might be the direction of the low. Let me check. How do I check? Oh, I just gotta look at the models, I guess. So let me do that. What? They're the strongest winds ever recorded in a storm. That's insane. Is that actually true? I'm unsure what the 2020 derecho was like. I know there was like 130 mile per hour winds, but that's insane if they're... I mean, listen, I'm not saying they weren't true. I'm thinking they were true. What I'm thinking is, I don't know if they're the record, but they might be. Well, in recorded history, of course. But yeah, that's crazy if that's true. Uh... Yeah, I could look at the NHC too. There is some tropical activity here. Wait, I think I have it loaded here. Let me just get it. Oh, that's a hurricane hunter. I mean, it's cool that they're already doing that, but... Yeah, so over here we do have a 10% risk off the coast of the Carolinas. Oh, so we actually didn't measure winds from the 2020 derecho. That's interesting. Wasn't there a lot of, like, mesonets in that region, though? I mean, what was the highest wind recorded? Let me look that up. What was the highest wind? What was the highest? Okay, well, there were estimated 140 miles per hour. 126 miles per hour. So this could actually be the record. I mean, it's not a record by so much. It's a record by 5 miles per hour, but, like, that's a record. So that might actually be a record. It's really hard to tell. I can't really tell that well if that was, like, a tornado signature or something. I don't think it was. I think that might have actually been the record. But, of course, realize... There could have been 140 mile per hour winds in the 2020 derecho. We just didn't measure them. So, it's kind of like the rating system for tornadoes too, like where we only count damage, except for this time it's actually with measuring tools. So, we can't officially count it unless if it's with measuring tools for derechos and stuff like that. But yeah, that is a strong storm. That was really a strong storm as it headed east of Pierre. It was powerful. And it still is powerful. I mean, it has 70 mile per hour winds. I mean, this looks more than 70 mile per hour winds, but I'm pretty sure we're kind of far away from the radar, so it's kind of hard to tell. Is this a new report over here? Yeah, there's a 62 mile per hour wind report near Deer River, so that's interesting. This storm is still producing winds. I wouldn't be in your safe spot yet, but just be close to it, just in case. And if you are under the tornado warning, then be in your safe spot in Nashwauk and Goodland. But otherwise, I would just be close to it because this storm has had a lot of history to it. So, but yeah, that's what's going on right now. We do also have that hurricane risk. I don't think it's going to be a hurricane. I mean, I'm just saying like a tropical genesis risk. That's what it's officially called. It's a 10% over here, and then in the Eastern Pacific, we actually have a high risk now. 70%, but that's not really going to affect land. But the Eastern Pacific, of course, has been more active because of the El Nino, so... Sorry. Just looking for something. Happened in a marginal risk. That's crazy. That's crazy. At least they upgraded to enhanced after it, but... It's not their fault, because I didn't expect it either. I did not expect it either. It was actually from those storms we were watching last... Well, not we, because I wasn't live, but I was watching last night in northwestern Nebraska into southwestern Kansas. Southwestern South Dakota. And they tracked all the way here. I mean, this must be classified as derecho, I guess, because that's over 400 miles. I think they actually changed the requirement back, but even with that, so to 250. So low pressure system will form in the Caribbean Sea area, and we'll need to monitor. I gotta look at the models for that. I mean, that's not officially. It's not an official thing. Let me look at tropical tidbits, actually. I'll show it here, because, I guess. Let me show it here. This is the GFS, so, I mean, I don't trust it that much, but, you know. It's all we really have here. Where should I look? When? Oh, here? That's... Let me look at the other models. I'm unsure. We're just looking at this now because there's not really anything insane going on. I mean, there is one tornado warning, but we might as well look at the models before we get absolutely bombarded with tornado warnings and stuff. I don't see what you're talking about, but, I mean, it could develop. Let me just see what the comment was again. Oh, a low-pressure system. So you're not expecting, like, a tropical system. You're just expecting some sort of low-pressure system. I think maybe you're talking about the one off the Carolinas. That makes more sense, but I don't really see many There is one that tries to develop over Honduras, so maybe that. I don't know. There'll be a lot of little rainstorms over there in that region, so that's interesting to note. I think I know what you're talking. You're talking about that storm near, or in the Eastern Pacific. You might be talking about that storm in the Eastern Pacific. The GPS. Okay. You mean the Canadian model, so let me just get that. This is not the CMC. This is like another Canadian model. Oh, it's one of these. Okay. GEPS. Okay, I see what you mean. Let me get the, ensemble member thing. Wait, what? Okay, wait. How do you get... that's not what I was looking for. But... Yeah, never mind. Okay. That's the ensemble stuff, so I was just looking for that on the ensembles. Let me see here. Is this better? I see a bit of support. Okay, I see what... Wait. Let me just go back. This might have been earlier. I see what you're talking about, but, like, that's not a lot of guidance. I mean, this is the wrong model. Let me see this. It doesn't go all the way out for me. That's the problem. Yeah, it doesn't go... Let me see. Let me go to the last one. And there's a lot of little low things, but, Oh, I see what... This storm right here. That is another storm that we're kind of seeing in the Eastern Pacific. It does develop... It doesn't really develop near Costa Rica, but it develops south of Mexico, so... That might be something we have to watch. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah. Anyways, guys, we are here covering the severe weather in North Dakota and Minnesota, and likely more areas later on. Make sure to ask any questions if you have them, and also make sure to like this video if you can, because it gets it out to more people if they need it. Yeah, let me change the scene, because there's ads. But yeah, we do have storms firing in this risk area. There's no watch issued yet. I'm not really surprised with that because these storms aren't that strong, but probably soon we're gonna see some sort of tornado watch being issued for Bismarck in those regions. Yeah, I mean, I bet there is something saying something would happen on July 9th, but that's a little far out. So I wouldn't say that's the best thing to look for. I know I personally look for some things that happen a few days out. I mean, I just, like, see if there's anything coming up towards me or anything like that, but it's never really useful. I only really look at that just for wishful thinking, I guess. I don't know. But... Yeah, we'll see if something develops. I mean, we are expecting some tropical activity soon, but I don't know. It's also going to be very hard to find tropical systems to form in the Caribbean Sea, especially since, you know, there's a bunch of wind shear. Well, we already had one. We already had what was the name? Arthur, but I was just, I don't know. Arthur was so small. I don't even know what it was doing. But the first names, the first cyclone, not the first named, but first cyclone of the season. Well, we're not really expecting any hurricanes in July. Honestly, from what I've gathered from all the research and stuff, it looks like there's going to be more of a risk later in the year. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It won't be in the Gulf, or like the... Well, no, it will be in the Gulf, but not the Caribbean Sea, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's going to be in the Gulf, especially with all that wind shear. And it'll especially not be in the Gulf. I keep mixing up my words. In the Caribbean Sea, when the wind shear increases as the El Nino increases in later this year. So, I don't think that we'll really have much in the Caribbean, but we might have a small storm that, like, goes on the edges of it, and, like, recurves or something like that. We'll see. But these storms are going to be more typical over here near the Carolinas, I feel. But yeah, I mean, I might do a hurricane forecast eventually. It's just we still have severe weather to cover, so we'll look at this for now. I might post a video on it soon, though, or like covering cyclones and that stuff. So that's interesting to know. Do have a severe thunderstorm warning over here in Canada, in Quebec, in Gaspé, in Murdochville. This is in the Gaspé Peninsula, I think. It used to be stronger, but it's not really strong anymore. All the hail's gone away with it. Unless if that's just a product with the radar. But yeah, we still have one tornado warning active, so if you live just west of Hibbing along this road, which is... What road is this? It never shows... Okay, US 169 west. If you live just west of Hibbing there, in Keewatin and Nashwauk and Kelly Lake, make sure you're in your safe spot. Your safe spot is, even though it doesn't look like there's too much of a risk there anymore, they did just add an extension. So there is an extension now for these areas in Ankara. Ankara, it's probably pronounced the same as the city, but I don't really know. Sudan, Tower, Eagle's Nest, and then a little bit of Cook, Minnesota. There is a tornado warning now in effect for you guys. This includes parts of US 53, I believe this was. Yeah, let me just check. I think that's US 53, from what I've heard. From what I've seen, rather. US 53. Yeah, that's US 53. So US 53 does have a risk there for a potential tornado. A tornado could develop in the region and might already be developing. So, definitely be in your safe spot for that. Definitely be aware of the incoming winds for that. That could potentially produce a tornado. Be sure that you're in the most interior room of a sturdy shelter. Preferably a basement or some sort of other interior room that is nearby a basement or away from any outside connection. If you were to walk through walls, make sure that if you were to walk through any of the walls, you would never end up outside and just end up in other rooms, not outside. So, that's what you gotta do. If you live in a mobile home, just make sure you're avoiding that and leaving immediately, going into their sturdier shelter that is nearby. Just make sure you do that as quickly as possible. But yeah, that is a new tornado warning now. Just northeast of Hibbing, in Ankara, Tower, Eagle's Nest, and Cook. I believe these are this is just St. Louis County in northern Minnesota. So St. Louis County, most of St. Louis County, I believe this is, needs to be in their safe spot now. Well, not most of it. This goes all the way down to Duluth, I think. So some of St. Louis County needs to be in their safe spot. Yes, I was talking about the special weather statement before, how it has 30-mile-per-hour winds. Oh, there's another one. Huh. I don't know. I think I'm so used to seeing rotation in the US that looks like rotation, but it's not. It's definitely not. I can tell. Well, it could be, but, like, it's very weak, so I wouldn't worry about it. I don't know if tornado warnings can be even issued over there. I think they can. Wait, let me see what the special weather statement says. Because I don't think... Yeah, it says 40 mile per hour winds now, so that's interesting. We also do have a special weather statement now in South Carolina. I'm looking at the special weather statements because the severe thunderstorm warnings are confined to a small area. I want to make sure I get everybody in here. Over here near Brevard, there is a special weather statement. Well, that's in North Carolina. It's closer to Slater, Marietta in South Carolina. It's right on this ridge, mountain ridge over here near Mountain Bridge Wilderness area and Asbury Hills Camp and Retreat Center. So... don't be in your safe spot or anything like that. Definitely not. Just try to go indoors. You can be close to windows if you want, but maybe go indoors for that storm, because that is a strong storm. We do still have a risk for some storms over here in northern Michigan, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in Aloha, Michigan. That currently has some 60 mile per hour winds and 1-inch hail, so make sure you're aware of that, staying indoors and away from those windows and doors. No, it's a little bit of a tongue twister there, but still get the idea. So you have one tornado warning active. This little storm right here is looking a bit tornadic now, but I'm not really convinced yet. It looks a little bit outflow dominant. You can see it here. Has a little bit of a hook curling back. So that usually does indicate that the outflow boundary that is dragging the storm out, well, it doesn't always drag the storm out. It's just developed by the storm. It's cold pool is heading away from it. So that will cause less rotation and less tornadic activity. But we're still watching it. It's on the south end of this line, which is more conducive for tornadoes. So we're continuing to watch, but this, of course, won't be the main tornado threat of today. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now in South Carolina near Abbeville. Or Abbeville. I don't know how it's pronounced exactly, but it's near Greenwood, too. It's along... Is this US 78? I think this is US 78, so... It's along US 78, if that is. It could also be US 29. I'm unsure of that area exactly. There's still no severe thunderstorm warnings in this North Dakota region. I expect that will change. We are expecting some more storms to develop over time, and they'll strengthen. We're already seeing a lot of storms develop, but they're not really severe yet because they don't really have any big hail or big winds or anything like that yet. At least that we can determine from the radar. These storms do look interesting, but they're not really producing much wind, so they probably won't get warning yet. Our only severe thunderstorm warnings are here in Minnesota, northern Michigan, and South Carolina. Let me see if I can get a camera on these storms in North Dakota, because that might work. Alright, let's look for a camera. Because I do have it here. Where would it be? Near Steel? Okay, well that's one of the storms, but the storm that we're looking for is just southwest of Bismarck near Carson. This would work. And then this would work. So it's looking west. Let me see if it's looking east in any of these. Alright, you can see the storm a little bit. It has a bit of a base to it, but it's looking mostly like those cumulus clouds right now. A little bit of those cumulonimbus clouds, but it doesn't look like cumulonimbus clouds right now. I mean, of course, I don't really know the cloud terminology that much either, but you can see that those thunderstorm clouds are not fully developed yet, But they are trying to develop, they're trying to develop a base, but there's not really much of a base with the storm yet, so I wouldn't be too concerned. It doesn't look too supercellular yet. It just looks like a strong storm right now. So I don't really see a base with it. I don't know what I was talking about earlier, but it doesn't really seem like there's a base with it, per se. It just seems like a strong storm with some rain right now. It might not even be producing lightning, but let me see if it is. You can actually tell. Lightning detection, yeah. It doesn't seem like it's producing lightning yet, so that's interesting to note. Wait, is this on? Let me do this. There's lightning on the storms north of it, but not on this storm itself, so. And there's not really light. Oh, no, there is. I just didn't zoom in. But yeah, there's lightning on those storms, too. Yeah, but there isn't a lot of lightning on the storm yet, so it hasn't fully developed. We're still waiting for storms to develop in the warm sector. %? What? Do you mean 70%? I think you mean 70%, because I don't think a 7% risk exists, but it's fine. Yeah, it's near Invest. It's called Invest 95W. I can tell from this warning over here on Pohnpei Island in the Micronesia area. So there is another Invest out there, so that's something to know. If you live out there in Micronesia. Still lots of storms to look at. Still have this tornado warning active. Over here. Was just extended, but it still contains some areas of Lake Vermilion, Tower, Sudan, all these roads over here. Highway 115, Beatty Road, up towards the Trout Lake area where less people live, but I bet there is some camps here, definitely. The name of Invest 95W if it develops. Let me look that up. Or are you just saying typhoon? I mean, it would be called a typhoon if it was that cyclone, but let me just see the names. Which name? The Filipino name or the, I mean, I'm guessing you mean the international name, but there is a Filipino name too. What's Mekala? Because that was the last one. Whatever that is. Okay, well, we already had Higo, so it's Bavi. The next storm name is Bavi. So we're waiting for Bavi right now. That storm will develop out of Invest 95W, potentially, not necessarily, because, you know, they won't automatically develop like that. Once again, guys, if you have any questions for me, I'll be here, just waiting on you guys, just to learn more information and, you know, get a general idea of what the audience is like. Of course, we do have a risk tomorrow, and I'll probably be live for that too, but we'll see. I might be doing something tomorrow, I don't know. Because there is a risk in Vermont and New York. Honestly, this could be the cold front right here. This might be the cold front. I gotta look. What are the temperatures here? Because if the temperature's, like, beginning to be colder behind that's definitely trying to become a cold front. Let me see. Okay. How do I check this? cold. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely the cold front. It looks like it. It looks like it gets much colder behind it. So I think right here, all of these storms are developing near the cold front. We're waiting for the warm sector to develop. Over here, near Carrington, Steel. So Bismarck has very limited time to produce any storms that will become tornadic. Well, the cold front storms will be tornadic, but definitely not as tornadic as any storm that can develop in this warm sector. You know, Devil's Lake, McCluskey, Carrington, New Rockford, Jamestown, that area. So we're still waiting for storms to develop there. There is a couple of storms, but they're mostly not really doing much because they're not in the best environment. I feel like the best environment, let me check. The best environment is actually southeast of these storms. So Jamestown, Valley City, Lemoore, Lisbon, and Cooperstown. If any storms develop there, I feel like that will be the main risk. But there's still storms. Those storms to the west still have some risk, I'm pretty sure. Once again, one tornado warning active, so make sure you're in your safe spot with that one storm. There was just a new severe thunderstorm warning added for, like, this whole area northeastern Minnesota here. It now includes Grand Marais, Virginia, Hibbing. So, that's for 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible tag. So just be aware tornadoes could develop at any moment, but the main risk is the winds for now. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Just gonna check something. Yeah, I'm back. Well, I was here the whole time, but, you know. Still no severe thunderstorm warnings on any of these storms, so that's interesting to know. I mean, they could have some winds on them, especially these storms to the west. So I'm still watching them. I mean, it's mainly the storm near New Salem that has a good inflow, so maybe that has some winds, but it's kind of weakening right now. Still waiting for storms to develop, it seems. There's a lot of little convection points here, so I don't know if that'll inhibit the storms or not. We also do have a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning now for parts of Minnesota, approaching Moose Lake, Kettle River, Ottumba, Cromwell, and McGregor and Kimberly. So all of those areas need to be aware that 70-mile-per-hour winds are heading towards you, and you got to be close to your safe spot, not quite there yet, especially since there's not really a tornado on the ground or any 80-mile-per-hour winds. However, you still got to be approaching that safe spot in a general area in that vicinity. Let me see if we got any new severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, we do have this special weather statement over here. Special weather statements, actually. But yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about. But we're definitely not at the peak of the event yet. These storms near Carrington are starting to look a little more interesting. Starting to look a little more interesting, I would say. I don't think they have rotation or anything, but definitely I would warn them for hail soon. Because this reflectivity value is indicating some hail. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some hail warnings, for severe thunderstorm warnings, on these soon. because it does look like they could develop some hail. Also, over here near Crookston, I'm also noticing a little storm that could produce some hail. Probably like 1 inch in diameter, not anything crazy. But yeah, not too much to talk about right now, but things are going to change. I'm pretty sure. Or is this the cold front? Wait. This could also be a cold front. It's kind of hard to tell. This could be a warm sector out here, but I feel like this is the cold front because this has... Maybe there's like... This is the cold front and this is like a cold pulse urge of this. I don't know. I'm not really sure how it works in that scenario. Still waiting for a watch out here, too. There is storms that have developed, but I'm just waiting to see if they will become tornadic or not. Because this is most likely is going to become a tornado watch. At least in my consideration. I think this is going to be allowed to expire soon. It's not looking too interesting right now. You can see there is a bit of velocities, but it's mostly wind related, so... I wouldn't be surprised if they downgrade the tornado warning to just the severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll see. We'll see. And the severe thunderstorm warning will eventually go into Canada in Quetico Provincial Park. Yeah, guys, we're almost done with June. This might be it for June. And pretty much the whole first season, but we'll see what happens with this fall. But, of course, there's always going to be something that develops. Huh. Interesting. Little bit of rotation here, but it's with such a weak storm, so I'm a little confused. I mean, this isn't that weak. There is some hail in this, so this might be somewhat of a developing tornado near Washburn. It's not there yet. It's definitely not there yet, but it could produce something in the future, so I would be aware in Washburn. Don't be in your safe spot yet, but if there is a severe thunderstorm warning issued on this, I would consider moving close to it. Yeah, we're still watching these storms in North Dakota, just to wait and see if they do develop anything. Of course, the models are pointing at some storms rapidly firing in this region, pretty much where they are now, but also a few storms developing over here in northeastern South Dakota, too. So we're waiting for these storms to develop some more. That's for sure. Sorry. Is this another? Not that much. Still looking at the storms in North Dakota. They're still continuing to develop, so we're going to continue to watch them as they progress to the northeast. Or are they progressing to the northeast? They're more progressing to the north, like this. So, right to the north. A lot of lightning on the storm. This MCS type thing, heading towards Duluth. So, still be indoors if you live in these areas that are affected by severe thunderstorm warnings. Soon in Duluth, not quite yet. You're not under a severe thunderstorm warning yet, but soon. That's for sure. Alright, this storm near Washburn has weakened a little bit, but we're still continuing to watch these storms near Riverdale. They have a bit of rotation, but not anything crazy. I'm not really expecting much to develop yet. We were expecting storms to develop, like, in 7 minutes, so maybe we have yet to see the actual storms, or these are the actual storms. It's hard to tell, but I think maybe there could be some storm development down here, maybe a little bit up north. That area. Excuse me. Let's look for more cameras. I'm looking over here near Washburn now. Wherever that is. Washburn. Oh, that's by 83. So let's see. These, of course, are not video cameras. They're frame by frame, so you're not going to see everything with them second by second. Where is this heading? North. So, no, this is looking west. This is looking west. You can see this is where the storm is, and it does have a tiny bit of a wall cloud. It does look like a wall cloud. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. It has, like, a couple of little features like that, but definitely some lowerings, I would say, on the storm to the west. It might just be part of the cold front. If this is a cold front. I don't think it is anymore. I think this is right here near Dickinson, but we'll see. I didn't mean to draw that line that long. Yeah, I looked at those storms that were producing a lot of rain. There is a not flash flood. Flood advisory in Vega Baja, Manati, and just east of Barceloneta. Or it doesn't include it. Might include Barceloneta. You can also see some storms over the Dominican Republic right now. Still surprised there's no severe thunderstorm warnings with these, unless if I'm missing something. Unless if I'm missing something. Hey guys, before things get crazy, I'm gonna take a short break, so I'll be right back. I just maybe need to get something to eat, I'll see. But I'll be right back, I'll be right back, just make sure to stay here if you can. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we did just get our tornado watch, it seems. I think at like exactly 3 p.m. Seems like my time. We did just get a tornado watch. Goes all the way to Roseau, Minnesota, down to Siston, South Dakota, Aberdeen, South Dakota, to McIntosh, and almost towards Dickinson, in just outside of Minot. So, this whole area here is now under a tornado watch. Not the area north in Canada, and I don't know if they're going to be as affected, but over here in North Dakota in the U.S., we do have a tornado watch. Probably for these developing storms. Let me see. Oh, well, you literally called it because it's right there, so. It's right there. It's a library. Sorry, guys, I still had something in my mouth. Just the latest severe thunderstorm watch is starting to decrease in size a little bit over here. The main attention is starting to focus over here in tornado watch in North Dakota and Minnesota. That's what it's becoming. But yeah, still watching in this tornado watch area. Not much yet, but stuff is going to develop soon. We already have like a kind of little storm here near Harvey. It just popped up, so I might try to do something as it heads towards the north. We also do have a few storms in Canada, but nothing too crazy, especially not compared to yesterday. And we still have our tornado warning over here in Minnesota for Eagle's Nest in those areas. I can see lightning strikes. Let's see. Why aren't they appearing here? Maybe it's due to the weather app I'm on. I don't know. I don't see the lightning strikes, but yeah, there's 35-mile-per-hour winds in those regions, and that's interesting to note. Definitely a lot of storms there. They're remaining stationary right now. So just stationary storms in that region. Seems. Over here near Carson, you can still see a little storm. It's north of Lark and Flasher at the moment. It has a bit of rotation, but it's very broad. If it is, I'm not even sure if it is, but it is kind of showcasing that shape a little bit. It would be very broad if it is rotation. And it is in the right environment, but we're not really expecting too much from it as it heads towards north of Flasher. It's very broad right now. It could materialize, but not quite yet, so I wouldn't be too concerned with it yet. None of these storms have severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment, unless if we are missing something. We are not. I don't know. Oh, I see what it's trying to do, yeah. It wouldn't be called a tornado if it's just producing hail. You mean like a supercell type thing. Yeah. It's not a tornado. I didn't really see any rotation there. Let me see. There's no rotation. So I think we're good. But it is a strong storm, so just be aware in Puerto Rico there's a strong storm coming for you. It's definitely stronger than you usually is in that region. We're still seeing some strong storms in Minnesota, too, as they move to the northeast more. You mean Eastern Pacific? Well, of course we do have that other storm, but Eastern Pacific would be Boris. Wait, no. Would it? No, wait, we already had Boris. We did have Christina. It would be Douglas. So the next storm name is Douglas in that region. So we're waiting for Douglas right now in the Eastern Pacific. This is looking a little more interesting north of Lark, I would say. Let me see if it... I mean, it's trying. But it looks a little weird on radar. It's not perfectly positioned. This might be just a strong inflow right now. But it definitely could be producing some rotation right over here near Lark. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of warning on it, like a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. Definitely is showcasing some characteristics of tornadic circulation. Some characteristics, not all. Still waiting for storms to fire in this region, too. Still lots of regions to look for. But yeah, definitely these storms to the south have more potential, it seems, in this line type feature. Okay. We do have another storm offshore here near two harbors, so that's looking like another storm that'll merge into the line, but it's not really doing much right now. It's offshore, of course. No rotation or anything, so it's not even producing a water spout, most likely. But we're still watching these storms in North Dakota, this line over here, seeing if more storms can develop in this region, where the warm sector mainly is. There's the newest scan. Is that the same scan? Yeah, it's the same scan. I don't know why scans are kind of slow on the Bismarck radar right now. We'll see if they start to pick up. It looks like they've happened every like 4 or 5 minutes, about. We'll see what... Okay, there's the new scan. I mean, it's just remaining stationary, these storms, for the most part. But it does look a little supercellular still. So we'll see if that starts to develop anything. I gotta look at the next rotation scan. Yeah, I couldn't see the lightning on that storm, so I'll find a way to find it soon. We do have a new mesoscale discussion for Severe Thunderstorm Watch 414. They are saying that the greatest potential for some sort of tornado is on the southern end of this, so as it heads into Wisconsin, there is still a risk for some sort of tornado threat, especially as it heads towards Ashland and Bayfield. There still is an environment for that. Let me look at that environment, actually. So let's see over there. Where is it? Okay. Wait. I got this. So, significant tornado is pretty high up there, but it is a non-capped environment. But the wind shear is starting to get a little low in that area. We're starting to head out of the main wind shear. I bet there still is some, but it's not anything insane yet. Once again, guys, I do have to go at like 5 p.m., but that's still kind of far away from now, so just be aware of that. It's coming up. Yeah, lapse rates are kind of low here, but not anything insane. Insanely low, I mean. But yeah, we do have a tornado possible tag on the storm still. So we're watching if it does enter into a better environment. We're still watching that. Let me look at this next rotation scan. It's still there. That little area of convergence is still there. It looks like. But it doesn't look as tornadic to me because there's not really a hook poking out anymore. This near Carson is looking a little interesting and Raleigh. But it doesn't have much on velocity. So I wouldn't be too worried about that either. Not too much to be concerned about yet. Even though you shouldn't be concerned. Alright, be right back, guys. I just need to check on something. Alright, guys, I'm back. Sorry about the little moment there. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for North Dakota, parts of North Dakota, of course. Over here near my note, Sawyer and Velva and Voltaire, those regions, it's heading up towards the northeast. This storm is warned for 1.25 inch in diameter hail, or $half size. 60 mile per hour winds. You can see a little bit of that velocity signature there, near max. We're not really watching much of those areas of rotation anymore here. It looked like those were areas of rotation, but it looks like these storms have fallen apart in terms of that regard a little. Still watching for these storms, though. These storms could still do something near Carrington. And even over here near Grand Forks, they have some potential. We're also watching the storm that tried, not really trying, but tried to live up near Esmond. A lot of heat expected soon. And a little bit of risk over here in Georgia and South Carolina. You can see that in the thumbnails. Still a tornado possible with this storm. Still could develop something. These guys, I gotta admit, I'm tired. It's just been so much the past couple of days, but it seems like we're nearing the end of all of this active stretch. Seems like we're approaching it closer than ever. We did just get a mesoskilled discussion for these severe thunderstorm warnings over here near Athens and Savannah. It just says damaging wind gusts possible, and that's kind of what we're seeing. We're seeing a bit of hail too, but not anything crazy, not anything severe, besides this one storm over here. It's 1 inch hail warned. Yeah, one severe thunderstorm warning, and we don't have any more tornado warnings, so let me change that. We don't have any more tornado warnings, but we do have 7 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Why did they? Okay. It just did that because I clicked the number 7 and that's scene 7, so that's fun. It's fun. Indeed. So we have 7 severe thunderstorm warnings active. More to come, it seems. We do have a lot of this warm sector still east of Bismarck. We're still continuing to watch if more storms can develop in that region, but it is looking a little weird because we do have a lot of convection in this region. But we'll see if a storm comes out of it. We do already have one near New Rockford. One near Grand Forks, too. Yeah, the storm looks like it's weakening over here on the southern edge of this line. Not as much hail. So, I mean, there is some tornado potential for this for sure, but I'm not seeing as much of a risk for it. I'm seeing some risk for it, but it looks like it's entering into a lesser environment a little bit. Possibly, I don't really know. All of these storms are looking like they're entering a lesser environment, like a less conducive environment, because they definitely don't have as strong of winds, especially not the 130-mile-per-hour winds we saw before. So. The storm near Lark is starting to look a little interesting again. I mean, not really tornadic, but it looks like it's a bit of a hail producer, and it's reaching out towards that outflow boundary. So there is an outflow boundary here. We'll see if any of these storms connect to it. If they do, that will inhibit more of a tornado threat. No, not inhibit. That will improve a bit of the tornado threat. So we'll see what happens with those outflow boundaries in that region. And we also do have outflow boundaries here too, and they probably need to attach to them in order to get their act on. I don't know. I don't really see anything with that storm, but... We do have now a new... well, let me actually keep it 7, because we do have that one severe thunderstorm warning in Quebec, too. Every time. Every time. But now we have gotten an extension to the tornado watch in Canada, just south of Winnipeg, for these regions. Mainly due to the tornado watch that was issued south of it in the U.S. But yeah, a lot of areas under potential tornadic activity now. Still watching them. Bunch of side lobe over here near Lark, but not really much going on besides that, so we're still watching that area. And near Benedict, there's a bit of strong winds, so... This storm might intensify in the future, but we're not really seeing that right now. It's sort of maintaining itself. We do now have a severe thunderstorm warning for the Flasher area for golf ball size hail. So there's definitely a little more than I was expecting. But you can see it on reflectivity a little bit, the golf ball size hail peeking out at us in 2 separate areas just south of New Salem, heading towards Flasher and the southern Bismarck area. So be aware of that. Make sure to be close to your safe spot. Not quite there yet, because the hail won't be damaging enough to, like, penetrate your house quite yet, but also make sure to put some items inside, unobscured items outside in your lawn and also your car, and also bring pets inside, because this hail can be damaging to those objects and pets. Just be aware of that. This is a developing storm, developing situation too. It's trying to get on the outflow boundary. It hasn't succeeded yet, but you can see it kind of curves into it. still trying to succeed at that, but it does look like the scans are coming more frequently now. Yeah, before it was like every 5 minutes. Now the latest scan was separated by 3 minutes, so that's good news. Still a bunch of storms in this North Dakota area, though. All trying to convect. But I don't know, maybe we'll get some overconvection too, because these are like really close together. Not all of them, but you can see there's a lot of interconnected convection there. And even over here, you can see a lot of interconnection. So we'll watch these. This one has golf ball size hail, so definitely still a concern in terms of hail. And this one concerned in terms of wind and hail. Sorry about the birds chirping in the background. I don't know if you can hear them, but it's just some birds chirping in the background as usual. It's not that bad. We can get through this. But yeah, still watching these storms that I'm a little interested in. Not anything crazy yet, but we are still watching this environment to continuously improve until we get those strong tornado potential that we are experiencing as a possibility over here. We are waiting for the new SBC outlook, which comes in under half an hour, so that will kind of showcase what their feelings are with these storms trying to develop. So we'll continue to watch these storms and see if there's any change in the thought process behind these storms. Oh, I'm so tired right now. Sleep's catching up on me. I mean, I didn't really have that bad of a sleep. We do have 2-inch hail on this storm south of Minot. Minot. I don't even know anymore. But Benedict is now getting potentially pummeled by 2-inch hail, or just west of Benedict. So just be aware there is higher reflectivity values as time progresses, now up to 70 dBz. So just be aware there's some hail in this storm, and it could head up towards Velva and Voltaire, cause some damage to roofs, some window shields on your cars, and some pets if they're left outside unattended. So make sure to bring all of those things inside besides the roof, because you can't really do that. But I don't know if the roof will actually get penetrated, because usually they're stronger than that. Yeah, we still haven't seen much tornadic activity, but I don't think that's going to be it for today. I think we are just still waiting. So We are waiting. We had rotation signatures of this thing, but it's not really that intense or anything like that. And then over here, not seeing much. I don't know, not tornadic yet, but we're still waiting these storms out. Just a bunch of little lines, too, of storms. We do have an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning to the south, now for Duluth. So Duluth, you could be close to your safe spot now. You should probably be close to your safe spot now, because there is a tornado possible tag on this. So a tornado could form at any moment, or is possibly going to form at any moment. So definitely be aware in Duluth. This could produce some sort of tornadic circulation. I don't know about your area, but maybe south of you. I don't know why there's 3 superiors right in the row here, but I think that's just a product of the radar. Because there's not actually 3 superiors right next to each other in Wisconsin. So, just realized that. Yeah, this is an extension of this severe thunderstorm warning on the south end of this MCS that has continued across this whole region, heading all the way from southwestern South Dakota up towards northeastern Minnesota. So all of these regions have gotten impacted by this MCS, which could become more tornadic at any moment, especially with the severe thunderstorm warning. We're still also watching these storms in North Dakota, though. Let's look in some other places. We still have these severe thunderstorm warnings in South Carolina and Georgia. Not seeing much rotation or anything like that with them, but we're not expecting rotation in that region. We're just expecting some winds, and that is what we're seeing. We're also seeing some hail near 6 Mile and Easley, but not anything insane. Definitely mostly the winds that are the main threat. You can see that on the products here. You can see a bit of lighter colors. Not really next to each other, so that wouldn't indicate rotation, but definitely some lighter colors that kind of are indicating some sort of wind change with these storms. Let me see if we have any flash flood emergencies. I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't. I thought we did, just simply because there was one yesterday, so. At least there was yesterday, yeah. Still some large hail on this storm southeast of Minot, or whatever it's called. I don't know. And maybe a bit of rotation developing, you can see over here, near Benedict, but it's kind of hard to tell. We are close to the radar, but it doesn't look like real rotation, and it's very broad if it is. Some broad potential rotation there. And it's also not on the right part of the storm, it's like in the interior of it, so it's not really on the hook. So we're seeing what happens with that storm, but it doesn't look too tornadic or anything like that right now. That's the main concern that we're thinking of with these storms. That's why I keep saying it. Let me see if there's a camera on Bismarck looking southwest, actually. Just at the storm. Maybe. I mean, this would look south. But there's nothing looking south. Where is south? Okay. There is just You can't really see much because there's a bunch of trees in the way in this region because it's right near Mandan, which is a town. Maybe here. I mean, you can see it on this camera a little better, but it's not really showing many storms, so... It wouldn't be directly south of Mandan, so that's my bad. That's a little bit ahead of the storm, you see. Still this one storm near Fessenden. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Heading north. And then over here near Velva and Voltaire. Man, I'm tired. I don't know if this is like a sickness or what. I don't think it is. It's just being tired. Yep. 9 severe thunderstorm warnings now. Oh, my computer's gonna die soon, so I gotta get the charger. Where shall it be? Just give me a second, guys. I can't even find my camera. Where is it? Okay. No severe thunderstorm warnings yet. But still watching at the severe thunderstorm warnings we have. A couple of tornado possibles in Minnesota. And a couple of hailstorms and windstorms in... Oh. Actually, there is a tornado possible tag now on this one near Flasher and Lark. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this produces a tornado, but of course, this is my opinion, the NWS's opinion. You still gotta get close to your safe spot if you live in those areas, just southwest of Bismarck and Mandan. So definitely be approaching that safe spot if you can, because that is where you want to be if you are put under a tornado warning in the future. There is, of course, now severe thunderstorm warnings for this one storm near Boissevain in Manitoba, just across the border right now. You can see it there. Yeah, I mean, this is trying to rotate a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that hook. It's building a hook. That has a good inflow, so I do think this could potentially produce something in the future. There's a tornado possible tag on it, like I said, and some hail on it too. I mean, it's a little hard to tell on the rotation signature anyways, so I can't really tell if there's much rotation with it. It looks like a little bit, but not anything crazy yet. But this is the first sign of a tornado if you get that hook. Even if it isn't always a sign. Sometimes they can have fake hooks, but it doesn't look like a fake hook to me. It looks like, since it's on the south end of the storm, that might actually do something. Unless if this merger inhibits it. Right here, your flasher. Unless if that inhibits it. Yeah, tornado possible tag on the storm heading towards Bismarck. That general region. Let me see if it's heading... Yeah, it's heading towards Bismarck. That is another thing. It's heading a little bit more right-leaning. That is another indication of a potential tornado. So this storm might actually do something soon. I'm not trusting how it's acting right now. Because if it heads a little bit away from north and heads a little bit towards the east a little more, that means that the cold pool is trying to surge it towards that direction and starting to cause some RFD on the backside and starting to rotate it. So, definitely a possibility with this storm, because it does have the tornado possible tag now, and it is in a good environment. So we'll see what happens with it, tornadic-wise. We will see. Yeah, still these severe thunderstorm warnings in eastern Minnesota into western Wisconsin. Still not seeing rotation with them, though. But this looks a little interesting, but it's only a little hook there. It's not really producing that good of an inflow, but it could produce something. We'll see. The storm is the main one I'm focusing on. So you have 8 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Probably 9 because of the severe thunderstorm warning in Canada. There's none here, but there is one here. So everything's going slow today. This storm too, but not really that much. I can see it a little bit. It's trying to do a hook thing. It's maybe trying to reach out towards that outflow boundary, but it's not really succeeding. At least with the rotation. It might just produce some strong winds because of that. It looks like it's always been here, even though the latest scan does make it look a little more convincing. You can see a little bit of that deepening there. So, I mean, that could do something, but you haven't really gotten the new scan yet, so. Over here, however, let me see the new scan here. I mean, it's once again trying. It's a little more elongated. I think that's due to, like, some of the shear that we're experiencing, or, like, some of the low-level flow. But you can see it's a little more elongated than most supercells. So, we'll see what happens with that. Why did that do that? Why did it do that? That's way too short. What am I doing, bro? Yes, it's good enough. What does it look like now? Yeah, let's change the size of this. Yeah, a lot of storms are trying to rotate, but I haven't really seen any succession yet, if that's the right word to use. This is more of an inflow thing, because this looks like it's way out ahead of that hook type feature. It could be with this outflow boundary part. I think that's part of the outflow boundary. I'm not sure. There's another storm forming on it, so it's kind of hard to tell. And then over here, let me see the velocity here. That's really hard to tell, too. I think it's just because it's right on the edge there. Once again, still kind of hard to tell. With any of these storms, to be honest. Not much to clarify with them. Yeah, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in North Dakota, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in Minnesota. One of them extends into Wisconsin. 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in South Carolina. 1 severe thunderstorm warning in Georgia. And then 1 over here in Manitoba. So you have 8 active now. I mean, this does look like an interesting storm. It isn't tornado possible yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out about soon. Both of these are in a good environment. Let me just make sure. Both of these do seem to be in an okay environment, so let me see. Good shear, but I think I've seen that way too many times. Good SRH. They're in good SRH. Super cell composite is good. Significant tornado. Significant tornado is a little bit off, but it's not horrible. It's just not the best. It's only like 0.5, the south one. The mid-level wrap slates are good. I guess that's due to like the capping or something. The capping inversion. I don't know. What is the cap? Oh, this. I think that's the capping. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Theta E advection is kind of high too, but I don't really know what that is actually. I don't know if a lot of people know what that is, to be honest. So. Here's the newest scan on the southern storm. It doesn't look as conducive, and that might be due to that lack of significant tornado parameters, but that also just means it's less tornadic. It could still be a strong storm, so definitely deserving of a severe thunderstorm warning for now. Even though the reflectivity is also kind of weakening, I would say. It does look like it's a little weaker than it was before, so I would say that too. Maybe a weakening storm to an extent. Now, this rotation here is kind of lining up with the hook, but it's very tiny and it's not very strong. It isn't broad, but it's not strong, so that's good to hear. Still looking near Duluth, too. I'm still watching these storms in Canada just in case that they can do anything, because there is an environment up here, too, of course. Is it new? No. Wrong scene. Wait, no, never mind. I don't know what I'm on. I'm back a little bit on the stream. Guys, I'm gonna be back. I don't know. I just need to be back. because I need to wake myself up a little bit. I'll do some exercises. So, be right back. Came back, I just needed to get up a little bit. Alright, so still have these severe thunderstorm warnings in North Dakota, but not seeing too much rotation on them anymore. They kind of, the minute they added that tornado possible tag, it's kind of weakened since then in terms of the tornadic activity, but it's still looking interesting. There's still a tiny bit of rotation near County Road 136. It's a little broader now, but you can spot it on radar. It's not, like, impossible to see. It's right here. You can see a little bit of that separation. So. And then over here, we're seeing any rotation over here. Not really. This storm is less volatile. But it does have some good hail. Realize that. It does have some good hail, so definitely be approaching your safe spot. Not quite there yet. Just be away from those doors, windows, and such. Just to make sure that the hail doesn't get you. Definitely more lightning on this northern storm. And there's less lightning in between these storms. It does look like these storms are trying to separate a little bit, the line a little bit. See, there's not like a continuous line anymore. So maybe that'll influence the tornado parameters a little bit. But this looks like it's outflow dominant right now, the southern storms. It's still part of this little line system, but it's kind of breaking up like a little bit. So that might influence some stuff to happen. Some tornadic stuff, maybe. But this still is producing some pretty large hail right now. It's approaching near Velva and Sawyer. Probably goes right in between them, most likely. And there's not really much rotation with the storm, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. This is still a severe thunderstorm warning over here in Boissevain. Not seeing too much with that. I mean, it's not really that haily. Either. Still quite a bit going on, but definitely not as much as I was expecting at this time. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be seeing more storms down here. I mean, there is a good warm sector over here, so if we can get more storms to fire in that region, I don't know if we're going to get a mesoskill discussion for that soon, but there is a good warm sector over there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get some storms to fire, if they do fire. Oh man, we have a tornado warning. I did not realize that would happen. Okay. Let me see this. I guess this, you can see it right near County Road 136. It's like the smallest rotation signature ever, I will admit. But it's there, so definitely get to your safe spots if you're approaching towards Bismarck. If you live near Bismarck area, but not quite there yet, you would have to live in Linwood and Morton County Wildlife Management Area, that region, and as well as St. Anthony, in order to get to your safe spot. I mean, you should get to your safe spot if you're in those areas. especially along County Road 136. That's where this tornado is tracking near. It's tracking more north of it, but still a little bit near. But yeah, we do have a tornado warning active now, so let me change this. One tornado warning is active. That is in North Dakota. Just make sure you're taking the proper precautions. This makes sense why they warned it. I think it's more precautionary because it just merged with that outflow boundary. And that would indicate that there is some tornado potential for it. So I'm getting where they're coming from. And just not really seeing where they're coming from. But I'll check it out. This is definitely proper. As it heads towards Bismarck. This would head right towards Bismarck, too. Let me just make sure of that. I mean, I don't know what part is the tornadic part. I mean, right here. So, it would head a little bit south of Bismarck. Like, right. Maybe a little bit closer to Bismarck than that. It would head right towards Lincoln in that region. So, definitely going to be a close call for Bismarck. I don't know if it's still going to be tornadic by then. It might take a break at that point, but we'll see. A lot of storms are still developing here. But we still have this warm sector over here, so I'm unsure if we're going to see much here. Could possibly occur. And we still have this storm on the southern end. There's no more severe thunderstorm warning on the northern end of this. It's kind of moved offshore, so we're not really expecting much with that. But we're still expecting a little bit with this storm down south. Not much rotation with it, though. So, I mean, there is still a tornado possible tag, but it's mostly the hail at the moment. We're mostly watching for tornadic potential with this storm in North Dakota. Let me see if there is cameras there. I think there is. But I don't know. Southwest of Bismarck. Here. Is there a tornado? Maybe. Would be west. Yeah. Here, you can see it a little bit. It's just a big wall cloud or something like that. It's a little hard to tell. Even though there is a bit of a lowering there. I don't know if that's a funnel. If you look right above the 21 sign, or right above that sign behind the 21, you can see here. Let me just point it out. Yeah. You can see a tiny bit of rotation right above my face. Wait. Not rotation, but like a little lowering. When was this taken? This was taken like 6 minutes ago, so I'm unsure if that would make sense, but it kind of does. So we'll see. Kind of makes a little bit of sense. Definitely some sort of signature there. That's what we're here for, just looking at these cameras. This is in the tornado watch, but I don't know. It's not really fully catching up to the alpha boundary. It's doing a little bit, but not fully. It's still a little bit racing it. You can see it's a little bit ahead. So it might continue doing this for a while until it eventually reaches it. I get why the tornado warning is there, but it doesn't look imminent yet. I would say that. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning up here in Bayfield, but that's because of the same system. It's just producing some winds further out. It's kind of doing a Boeing segment right now. Do we have our new SPC outlook? I guess we do. This just kind of looks new. But I don't know. Let me see. New SPC outlook. Do we have that? Really depends. Oh, wrong scene. Did we get a new outlook? No, not yet. So we're still waiting for that, but there could be similar tornado risk. I think it's going to be similar. It's not going to be like anything huge. We do have tennis ball size hail with the storm now approaching near Sawyer and Velva. This storm is really starting to get some big hail. I can tell. You can see this reflectivity signature is definitely getting up there. What is it now? Let me change my scene. What is it now? It's like 74 dBc. So, do you think this has some tennis ball size hail? It's going to get close to towards Norwich and near my note, but not quite there. It's also near Granville and Riga. So, definitely some hail with that storm. Don't leave your pets unattended. Just enter indoors. Make sure you're okay there. We do now have also tennis ball size hail with the southern storm too, even though I don't really see that as much because there just isn't as much of a reflectivity value here, and it's closer to the radar, but that also might be the reason why we're not seeing as much of a reflectivity value because it's closer to the radar. But we also do have a tornado possible tag on this for Bismarck and Mandan. Those regions do need to be approaching their shelter, but not there yet. That is what we're seeing there. No CC drop or anything like that. We're not seeing a tornado on the ground, but still an interesting storm to note. Let me see if we got an outlook yet. Did we? Just give it a second. No, not yet. They're taking a bit of time. I think it's just because there's a lot of new updates they have to add quickly. That's okay. I'm still unsure exactly where the cold front is. Maybe it's this, but it's looking a little less definite right now. It could be this, too, right near Bismarck. I don't know. It's hard to tell. This storm doesn't really look that tornadic, but it's trying to do something. I don't think it's tornadic, but it's trying to produce a big ton of hail. So that's definitely something it'll do in the short term. But also, it might leave the United States before it produces a tornado. But then we'll have to worry about Canada if it does manage to produce a tornado. Still just some strong winds in this. I wouldn't be surprised if they issue 70-mile-per-hour winds with this, but I've seen a lot of storms with 60-mile-per-hour winds look like this with these strong winds. So I don't think we're going to see anything special here. I think it'll still remain a 60-mile-per-hour winds. Alright, be right back. I gotta get dinner. It's not here yet, but like I just gotta, order it. So. Still have a strong winds in Bismarck. Up to 60 mile per hour. Still have up to 60 mile per hour winds over here near Granville. Oh, man. Okay, there's a new SPC outlook. Wait a minute. Let me just check this. There is the new one. It's definitely there. Oh, man. Let me see this. Alright, so we do have an enhanced risk for Fargo, Grand Forks, Moorheads, West Fargo, Fergus Falls, those regions of Minnesota and North Dakota. That's 4 tornadoes. So we are expecting a pretty high tornado risk today. Definitely not as small as what it was before. It's definitely growing larger in risk. It's still a SIG 1, so we're not expecting anything above EF2 tornadoes, but there's more likelihood of those tornadoes occurring in that small vicinity. I mean, this is looking kind of similar to something, but it's not really that similar. I think that would have like a SIG 2 or something, but definitely a difference. The wind and hail risk, though, are still for slight risk equivalent. So it's really just the tornado risk that is starting to increase here, and I guess that is for that warm sector. That warm sector hasn't really produced a bunch of storms, so we are expecting some increase in storms in that region. But now, yeah, we definitely do have an increase of the risk. So we're continuing to watch that region. We're still only in the 5% for most of these severe thunderstorm warnings right now. But we'll see if anything changes as we enter into the warm sector, where those storms become prominent. But yeah. Yeah, the storm is heading right into Bismarck. It's kind of on the alpha boundary. It is a little bit of rotation here, a little bit of a donut hole type thing, but it's not really a strong one. It's just a little bit there. So, we're watching it. This storm looks atrocious for tornadic potential, but not for hail potential. It's still there. Still trying to develop there. I am going to have to go in, let's say, 20 minutes. Maybe less, 15 minutes. Just to eat dinner and, go to this thing I have for an hour. So, just be aware of that. Of course, the weather does not stop there. Still gonna... I think the main risk, this 10% risk, is gonna be later, so... Seems like it. Must have been an increase in confidence. But yeah, the storm is trying to develop itself. Just some strong winds right now. I'm not surprised if they would upgrade this to 70 miles per hour. It's looking interesting, but it's a little hard to tell what's going on exactly with the storm. You can see it might be a little bit of alpha dominance over it. I mean, you can kind of see the alpha boundary there, so it's a little bit alpha dominant, but still a potential for tornadoes if it catches up with that. It still has some rotation, nevertheless. Yeah, 4:30, I think I'll have to go. So that'll be a 2.5 hour live stream. Still just one active, yeah. But we still have 8 severe thunderstorm warnings active, and I think more if you count the ones in Canada. Well, actually, no. It's the same. Well, there is one up here, but that's it. That's rotating. It's weird. It's heading west, southwest. I've never seen that before, but well, I have, but it's just weird. It's doing it up here in Canada now. I think it's just because of the low. Okay, we have a tornado warning for Bismarck. Tornado warning for Bismarck at this moment. You can see it over here. It is heading directly towards Bismarck if this is rotation. It's a little hard to tell, but it's mainly strong winds at the moment. But definitely could wrap up and produce a tornado, especially if it catches up with that alpha boundary that would go right through Bismarck. So be aware in that area. This is heading towards Bismarck. Bismarck, you have to go into a sturdy shelter, into your safe spot. If it's not your home, you just have to evacuate your home immediately. If it isn't a sturdy shelter, if it's like a mobile home or something, and go to a sturdy shelter where you would have to enter a room where if you were to walk through walls, you would never end up outside if you walk through any of the walls. You would just end up in other rooms. Also make sure that if you're in a bathroom, just make sure to get into the bathtub and put a hard surface above you on the exterior, soft surface on the interiors towards you, such as a mattress. So make sure you are safe if you live in Bismarck. There probably is a bunch of sturdy shelters here because this is more of a city, so there's no excuse this time, it seems. This is a potentially strong storm in Bismarck at the moment. So let me change this to 2 tornado warnings. Here, I'll be right back. I just gotta check on something again. And I'm back for this tornado warning in Bismarck. So a lot to cover here. Yeah, there's a lot of cameras in Bismarck, so let me just check on those, because this will show a strong storm for sure. Let me see if there's any video cameras though. There might not be any video cameras. There might just be, you know. This is the Bismarck Expressway. Looking west, you can barely see it there, so. Alright, this is okay. You can see a strong storm coming, but it looks like the tornadic part of it would be rain wrapped, and that kind of makes sense because it's kind of in this big reflectivity bowl. So, definitely a concerning system if it does produce a tornado, but it's a little bit before the alpha boundary, so wouldn't say that it's imminent or like super imminent. Like, wouldn't say that there is a tornado, but I would say that it's going to produce one at any moment as it heads into Bismarck. So definitely be aware of that. Definitely be taking shelter if you live in Bismarck. There probably is sirens in the city, I would imagine. There is also a little bit of rotation near center North Dakota, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if that also gets tornado warned. Because that's along the line as well. Line type thing. It's just a bunch of clusters, supercells. But you can see a little bit of a swirl inside that storm near center and Washburn, so I wouldn't be surprised if that also gets a tornado warning. Definitely getting more active as time goes on, it seems. I think I can go on for a little bit longer past 4:30. My dinner's not going to get here in time, so. I might have to go at 4:30 anyways. But yeah, still, potential tornado in Bismarck. Definitely could be strong storm as it heads through the town. So, continue looking out for yourself in this region. You can see the camera right here as of... Oh, this is kind of old now. Let me try again. This new? Where's the newest scan? So these are just old. Yeah, these are really old. I don't know if this takes a while to update. What about this? Yeah. Is this good? Is this east or west? I think this is west, yeah. You can see this big storm over here to the west. It does look rain-wrapped, mostly that tornadic part of it, so it would be rain-wrapped, so don't go looking for it. Definitely go straight to your shelter if you can, if you live in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's the area where you need to be in your safe spot if you can. Looking over here now in the upper peninsula of Michigan, there is a watch possible. Not really for tornadoes. We didn't really expect much tornadoes after, we didn't really see anything with that southern cell. But definitely still a possibility for some hail and wind over here in Ontonagon, Houghton, Laurium, Eagle River, Chassel, and Lance over here in the upper peninsula of Michigan. But our main risk still remains over here in North Dakota, where we still have storms firing. Potentially in the future in the warm sector, even though this is a warm sector still. Especially if we're still seeing these tornadic storms. Once again, guys, if you have any questions for me, make sure to comment. Just asking about your area or anything like that. Still have some storm in Norwich and Granville. It might have some hail in it, but it does look like the reflectivity ball has kind of decreased on it a little bit. Not too much, but it's not as strong as it was before. It's still warm for tennis ball size hail, though, so it would still be indoors for that storm, definitely. But this, you got to be in your safe spot in Bismarck. It's a little hard to tell what's going on now, especially as it approaches the radar, but you can still see some strong winds with it at the moment, so we're continuing to watch it to see if it does anything suspicious. But no CC drop on it. It doesn't seem like it, so it's just a radar indicated storm at the moment. At the moment. Do we have any reports of a tornado? Let me just make sure. We don't. No reports of a tornado. I mean, there's one up here, but that was from yesterday, so never mind. Here's where the tornado would be. It is now approaching towards the river, the Missouri River. It's currently over State Highway 6 if it is a tornado, and it's approaching the neighborhood where 27th Street Southeast, 8th Avenue South, and Shires Drive Southeast is. It's the southern area of Mandan, a suburb of Bismarck. So those areas need to be in their safe spot, as well as the entire city of Bismarck and Lincoln. still where we gotta watch for this potential tornado. Some big hail in this still, too. And then in Mandan, we are going to see that hail. For sure. But hopefully you won't see that hail. Because hopefully you'll be in your safe spot. Alright, so we do have just one tornado warning at the moment. I think I'm going to leave you here, unfortunately, because, you know, I have to go somewhere at approximately 5 p.m. So, it does seem like the risk for Bismarck is a little bit lower than it was before, but it still could intensify at any moment, so just be aware of that. Still be in your safe spot if you are living in that area, and I'll be back on when there was potentially more tornado action. But still is tornado action right now, so just be aware of that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. If you don't know what the notifications look like, it's a bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to like this video. I don't care if dislike really didn't like this video. Fine, dislike. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's always important to stay on the Morris Data on the Road freeway for more information about your life. Thank you.